Welcome back. Long time no see, literally. I'm here with my guest host,
Robert,
to talk about our trip to Tanzania to climb the tallest freestanding mountain in the world.
the roof of Africa.
The roof of Africa, one of the 7 summits. So without further ado, let's begin. Okay. So Robert, take it away.
Why me?
Because it was your trip.
Yes. So I have a New Year resolution every year that I want to summit a mountain. Doesn't matter how big, just to be on top of something. And so...
Lucky us, we got to be a part of it this year.
Yeah, everyone, Adam, Julia, Myers, LEB, everyone got dragged along.
Mm-hmm.
And this trip has been in the works for like 2 years almost.
Yeah.
And we just never were able to do it. We kept thinking we would, never able to. And then boom, we finally were able to.
And here we are. So we left on the day after Christmas on the 26th, in the very early in the morning, and we met up with Adam and the girls at the airport in Charlotte. Our flight pattern was Charlotte to Washington, like IAD Washington, Dulles.
Yeah.
That's Dulles. And then there to Doha. So like that's like 12 hours. And then Doha to, well, technically Doha straight to Kilimanjaro. However, there's a technical stop in Dar es Salaam, which is the capital of Tanzania. You don't get off the plane, but people do get on.
Yeah, and you're on there for like an hour.
So you're just like sitting on the runway, looking around. They give you new blankets, that kind of jazz. So that was our beginning. Then we were picked up. Our bag got lost, one of them.
Luckily, not one we needed.
Yeah, it was just one of our other 100-pound bags. And then we were picked up at the airport by a man named Sam and his
And Fakir.
And his super cool, I don't know, it's like a Range Rover Safari.
Like a Land Cruiser Safari
like
car.
Envision a Safari car, but then put the roof back on it. That's what we got picked up in. All of our luggage, everything. And then we drove the hour and a half to the hotel. And then had like a debriefing. We were all very pooped. Very tired, but we had a lot of information to get through.
Yeah, because we got to the hotel at like 8 o'clock.
We needed to eat still and like get into our rooms. And then he was like, we'll just have a quick debriefing before the trip starts. And it was in fact not quick, nor was it a brief debriefing and a gear check because Adam and them rented a bunch of stuff. So we spent a long time listening to what kind of was happening. They gave us the whole rundown of like, we're going to force feed you. You have to drink a certain amount of water. Make sure you have XYZ. That kind of thing. And then we got to eat dinner, and there was a delicious soup. They're like, you'll have soup every meal. I don't know what kind of soup that the hotel had, but it was very good.
It's like a vegetable stew.
Thrilled. It was like a thick broth, though. Mm-hmm. And then we took our last shower for 8.5 days. And because he was like, by the way, you're getting picked up at like 7 a.m. So.
Yeah. So we wake up, we eat breakfast. We like do all the final logistics stuff with the hotel and with Sam, and then our crew. So there are 5 climbers: myself, LEB, Julia, Myers, Adam, and for those 5 climbers, we had 23 people supporting us on the way. So that is 3 guides. You have your cook, your tent team, the bathroom team, the dishwasher, the porters that carry everything, or I guess they're all porters. Yeah,
like they bring water, they do everything.
And we're sitting here like, oh my God, we're gonna be carrying our tiny little backpacks, and they're gonna carry everything else. So that was like something we were interested to see how it would work. And so we drive.
They like all were in the bus when we got there. Like
yeah,
so
we
get
in a big bus, and we all go and we drive 3 hours to the trailhead. And we get there, and they make us lunch, and
which was delicious.
Yeah,
strong start. It was like some orange chicken thing with rice and some like pineapple.
Good soup.
Mm-hmm. It was delicious. We peed in a like kind of gross bathroom. It was just like a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Signed the thing that said like we're gonna be gone for 8 days if we're not back.
Yeah.
Send help, and then
the porter team went off, and then it was like maybe only 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers that we had to hike. And it was like an easy, through the tropical rainforest zone. And it was wild because we felt like we were in the low country of South Carolina the whole time because they had live oaks, Spanish moss everywhere.
Although we did see monkeys.
Yeah, they had these like crazy long white tails. So
they look like
see
a skunk.
them in the trees.
They looked like skunks in the trees.
Yeah.
And we met our 2 other guides. So there were 3 total guides. There was like the lead guide, Fakir. You'll see pictures. He's the skinny, like the tall, skinny one. Then you have Ibrahim, who had the dreads, and so he usually is wearing something on his hair. And then there's Puce, and he's just an angel. He was the youngest. He was like 25, or 27.
They slept in a like a 3-man tent. And what happened?
I don't know. Can they still see us? Hold on, Robert's computer just there. We go. Still going.
Yeah.
Slept in a 3-man tent, and since Puce was the youngest by like a year and a half, he had to sleep in the middle.
Yeah.
He was a very solemn man. Like he would put your gaiters on in the morning, and he would like make sure everything was just right, and he would adjust like every single thing. He was nice, a very adorable man.
And so the tents were the 2 of us, Myers and Julia, and then Adam had a single tent. So we hiked to Big Tree Camp, which was camp number 1, and we got there, and it was raining a little bit.
Yeah, because we were in the jungle, so it was like rained off and on. It like kind of spit on us. It was very warm. It did cool off once the rain happened. So like I did put my sun shirt on.
Yeah, and then we had dinner, and dinner number 1 was a bold start to the trip.
Bold choice. Having had lunch being delicious, I was stoked for first dinner because first lunch was so good. First dinner was a fish stew.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was great. It was really good. LEB, not so much.
I tried it. I tried every single thing they put in front of me. Bold, like out of the bat. Oh, you're really hungry because you've been hiking all day. Here's a stew. How far did we go day 1? Like 11?
No, like 5 kilometers.
Oh.
Yeah, not far. And then we went, let's see.
No, we're just day 1.
Yeah, so day 1. Yeah, day 1, and then we.
And they were like, don't forget, like, and they gave us a debrief on.
Yeah.
Like once we got up to camp, they were like, this is how camp works. This is how the toilet works. You know, we're waking.
Oh yeah, there's a little toilet tent thing.
We're waking you up at like 5 a.m. Like 5:30 wake up, 6 o'clock breakfast, 6:30 on the trail.
Yeah.
This is what you should wear tomorrow. This, you're going to have to eat, whatever. So they gave you like the whole rundown.
And we didn't really get to meet the porters and stuff. They said we'll meet them at the next camp.
Because it was dark by the time we got there. That's why I don't think it was 5. I think it was more than 5 because it was dark when we got there.
Yeah, because we started real late. We took forever to eat lunch.
Yeah, we did. We lollygagged a little bit. Turns out we didn't have like technically the correct amount of Diamox. So we just kind of like wung it.
Yeah, we cut it in half. Yeah. Don't know.
It worked.
Yeah. And then the next day we
day 1. Khalas. Are you done with day 1?
Oh yeah.
Because we're chopping it into pieces.
Yeah.
You'll see why. Okay, see you in a second. Bye. Day 2.
Diedos. Okay, so yeah, we woke up at.
Now, when we were sleeping on the floor, sleeping on the ground.
Oh yeah, we were like surrounded by the monkeys. They came into camp.
I was
on
convinced.
A mission.
I like made Robert wake up every time I needed to pee, and the Diamox makes you pee too. And I already pee like 8 times a night, so I was like, okay, like the monkeys are here. They got on like Myers and Julia were like, we swear they were on our tent. Sleeping on the ground isn't exactly for me. Per se, I don't think I was built for it. I'm a coastal lady. We don't have the same bone structure and like support fat that people who can sleep on the ground have. I don't have the support fat for it, so I felt every root. I could feel the trees growing beneath me. But they gave us foam pads instead of like because they originally we had like a mat, and then they said, or you could like upgrade to a foam pad, and we were like probably the foam pad just because I don't like to sleep on the ground. The mat was literally a yoga mat. So it's like, praise the Lord, we did a foam pad, which was just a prison mattress. It was like this thick.
It was comfortable though.
It was also covered in slip and slide materials. So once you were in your sleeping bag, if there was a downhill slope.
Yeah, which was most nights.
You were on the bottom.
Yeah.
So day 2.
Yeah, so day 2, we wake up at a nice 5:30 in the morning. They have porridge and eggs and some fruits and some bread. And
they were aware that I try not to eat gluten, and so they were like, "Don't worry, like we're trained. You'll always have a substitute." And I had a substitute like 1/4 of the time, and it was never when I actually needed. Like it'd be a chicken dish, and then they'd give me a substitute, but then they'd also serve spaghetti without a substitute, which was kind of weird. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So then we meet we have 2 waiters and one's name is Joseph, and the other is Gaspar. And Gaspar was great. He was like the strangest, quirkiest person you've ever met. And
he's like all bundled, and you're like, oh, they're like 60, and then they're like, I'm actually 30, and you're like, oh, you're my age.
Yeah, and then Joseph was just a kind soul. He had really a kind soul.
He just wanted to like you just. Oh, I'm sorry. Go backwards. On our way there, we stopped to pee at like this open air cafeteria type thing, and the guides. I might remind you. We don't know anybody. We just like barely know the like shape of one of the guides, right? And we're in rural Tanzania, rural Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
I don't know the town's name. It was like on the highway. And we get out and they're like, okay, we're going to go eat our breakfast. Like the staff is going to eat breakfast real quick. If you need to pee, go that way. And I was like, all right, girls, let's go. So we went to go pee. And we came back and everyone was gone. We couldn't find our bus. We only know what one of our guides look like. So like it could be anyone. Robert and Adam, gone. And they were like, should we go look for them? I'm like, I'm not going looking like around town for our people. So we just sat there. Some guy was like, who are you looking for? And we were like, white men? And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, we don't know either. So we're just sitting there looking around waiting. And I was a little perturbed. Adam's like, what's the worst that could have happened? I was like, what's the worst that could happen? Murder?
Libby just gets scared in any situation she gets in.
Yeah, well, we don't know anybody. What if they left without us?
So we go from...
So anyway, day 2.
Yeah, so we go from Big Tree Camp to Shira 1. And so it's about an 8-kilometer hike. But this one is like very much a up, down, up, down, up, down
As I like to say, do we have up? And they would say, we have lots of up. And I'm like, damn.
But it was cool because we go from the rainforest into the heather zone.
Heather moon landing.
Into the Moorish, or like the moorland, which looked a lot like Scotland.
I didn't think we got all the way to the moorland, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Oh. Our guides were very knowledgeable. They'd be like, smell this is this, and this is used in ancient times for like healing, and this could be used for headache, and they were like very on top of it. And they'd stop and be like, drink water.
Yeah, like very military.
Like in your face, like you will drink more water, and you're like, okay. And they called it sippy sippy. Sippy sippy. Sippy sippy. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Don't have to ask me twice. I got very comfortable peeing like right there.
And when we got to camp, it was the first view of we were already on the mountain, but it was the first view of summit that we had of the trip, and it was very daunting.
She was large.
Yeah.
We were all like, oh, we wish we hadn't seen that.
Yeah,
very far away.
Very far away and massive. So we... Oh, hold on, computer. Yeah. So then we...
The hike, I don't remember anything spectacular.
It was just very scenic and stuff. And then we get to meet our porter crew. So they gather us all around and they encircle us, and they start singing these songs in Swahili. And it was really awesome. We had no idea what the songs meant, but we eventually started figuring out what they meant. And it was just a roadmap on how to be successful on climbing Killi.
So it's like, listen to your guides, eat your food, drink your water, walk slow.
Yeah, and then it was like...
And then it was the different camps you stopped at.
They would do like breaks, and they'd say like, oh, the name of a camp, and then they'd say Hakuna Matata, which is obviously no worries. And they would say that for each camp and be like, don't worry, we'll get you there. And it was really cool.
It was nice. And then we met everyone, and then Myers did an amazing job of remembering everyone's names. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, can we go around and just make sure I know everyone's names? Homegirl was locked in. I'm like,
it was impressive.
Damn. Like she would crush a concussion test. We have to like memorize all those shapes and stuff. So she memorized everyone's names. We did our best that we could. It was a really pretty campsite. That was the first night we played Monopoly Deal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Robert says, oh yeah, he didn't play. We taught Ibrahim and Fakir, 2 of our guides, how to play.
Well, I wanted to read, and then they said they were going to not play Monopoly Deal, and then they went to play Monopoly Deal, and I came in.
I was like whipped in. He's like, what the heck, you guys? Hey guys, Robert here, checking in.
My God.
Fakir and Ibrahim were okay at it.
Yeah.
A little bit, kind of. Not really. They were like, this is gambling. And we were like, well,
They got good.
They did. They got better.
Yeah. So that was
day 2?
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. So this was
another morning wake up
from Shira 1 to Shira 2 camp, and it was an easy day, like 5 kilometers flat. Is what
it was
they said.
No, it wasn't 5.
Yeah.
You keep saying 5. It was not 5. We had like one day that was 5. The rest was like
the day before was 8 kilometers. Today, that day,
it's like 11 because they just kept getting longer and longer.
No, this was the easy day.
Easy day was still far though. It was just mostly flat. Okay, well, whatever. Robert is not telling the truth, but that's fine. He told me it was an average of 4 kilometers a day.
No, like 8 a day. Yeah.
So do the math, guys.
Yeah, and we woke
Easy
up
day was the day that I got hit in the face.
today
Because I didn't sleep very well. The ground was like mostly rock because it was in the moorland, so like the dry place were rocks. I don't know how to bundle to be warm, so like my feet were freezing, and I didn't sleep very well, so I wasn't in the best of moods. And if I don't sleep, I throw up. Robert, that's rude. Don't yawn. And so we start going, and I'm like, I don't feel very good.
We wake up, and it's a magnificent sunrise and not a cloud in the sky, and you can see the mountain again, which is really cool.
Yes.
And then we start.
Ellie
B's at the beginning, she's like, I feel a bit swirly, hollow, like I need to eat more.
Like, like when after you have the throat bug, you just feel like empty. That's how I kind of felt. And I was like, I don't know, I feel empty, but like I've been like pounding the food. And it wasn't like I wasn't pooping or something. Like I was like appropriately intake and output. But I just didn't feel like proper. And I was like, guys, I really think it's because I'm exhausted. Like I'm really, really tired. And then we started our hike, and it just kind of the feeling got worse and worse. And I was like, okay, I really don't feel very good. At this point, what was our elevation? Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Do it in... The whole mountain's like, what, 20,000 feet?
It's like 19, right below 20. Okay.
And then by this
point... So we were at like 3,000 meters. And I don't know what that is in feet.
The total is 5,000 meters.
5,825.
Sorry. Okay, so we were like a little halfway to the distance of the up, altitude-wise. And I was like, I don't feel good. And Sweet Puce was like, it's just the altitude sickness. And I was like, maybe. I'm also just really tired. And they were like, it's altitude. And I was like, no, I hear you.
And just to be transparent, we'll just let you know what you might feel with altitude sickness.
Nausea and fatigue and a headache.
And you'll probably throw up.
But I don't. Yeah, they were like, yeah. And you're like, if you throw up, it's fine. You'll just throw up like 3 times and then you'll feel better.
Ellie has a fear of throwing up.
Wrong thing to say. Because then my mind went to the Philippines. And I was like, I was in the woods. And I was only like a 45-minute hike into the woods. I'm now 2 days hike in to Mount Kilimanjaro. Like, if I start throwing up uncontrollably, like, what if it's water that I drank? What if I got into my mouth when I was showering, even though I looked like a crazy person and had like a whole thing on my mouth when I was showering? I didn't even wash my hair. I was freaking out. So then I had like a full-blown, like, couldn't breathe. They had to like take my pack off me because I was like hyperventilating situation because I was like, I can't throw up. And Sweet Puce thought I was like, oh, she's like, feels so bad. She's crying. I'm like, no. Ellie B's crying because if I throw up, I will just drop dead. So he like takes Robert and he's like, hug her. And he like pushes Robert towards me. And then I'm like sobbing into Robert's shirt. And Puce just goes, we are here for you. We are all together. We are here for you. And I was like, hey, you. Then they took my bag for the rest of the trip, like the rest of the day. And I wouldn't say I really improved that much. I took a Zofran so I wouldn't throw up. But I was pretty tired. I was really tired. Like I kept thinking I was going to fall asleep. He's like, do you have a headache? I'm like, no, I don't have a headache. I just feel like I'm going to pass out like presently. To presently pass out. But I kept snacking. And then when we got to camp, I slept for 5.5 hours. Like I ate lunch and then I just was gone. I was consider myself deceased. KIA.
We saw these cool like palm tree things that were like palm trees with banana leaves on top, which signify that there's fresh water nearby.
Oh cool. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Yep. And then then I passed out. I was like barely alive. I passed out for 5 hours on the easy day, and then we had dinner. Was that when we had spaghetti? We had spaghetti one night. I was like, I would kill for spaghetti, and then like it wasn't like our spaghetti, but it was noodles with some type of red something. Lots of peppers. Mm-hmm. Lots of plantains. And which I hadn't considered that an everyday food, let alone an at-all food. But I felt better. The next morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm fine. I think I was really tired.
Yeah, and that was like just a very like non-eventful day, except for that.
Except for that, we just wandered through the.
It was beautiful.
The moorland, and we slept. Where did we sleep?
We climbed on this huge rock.
Oh, we did climb on a huge rock.
It's a
cool picture. Yeah. Peed behind some rocks.
And we slept at Shira 2, or it's called like Moor Hut as well.
Mind you, they're not actually. There are huts.
Yeah, but you're sleeping in the tent.
The hut is for the like ranger who's there to like, and you sign in the book or whatever. And then they used to have like bathroom structures, but they're just holes in the ground and they smell horrific. So that was day. Stop. That was day 3. Sorry, Lainey. That's 2 for me. Day 4.
Oh yeah. So again, we wake up at 5:30, and it's beautiful. You can see there's another really big volcano in the distance. That's like 15,000 feet or something. I think it's the 3rd tallest mountain in Africa or something. Yeah.
It's Kilimanjaro, Mount Kenya, and then
this one. Yeah.
Whatever this one's name was.
And so today is a long and hard day. So it's about 13 kilometers, but you're going up to 4,600 meters. So that's the highest point we'll get. And it's the same level as what base camp will be.
Lots of up. But then you go back down. Like you don't camp up that high.
And so we have a great early start. We're chugging along. It's beautiful. We're moving from the moorland to alpine desert.
Rocks. Lots of
and
rocks.
Our midway point is called Lava Rock. And it's just
the tall part.
Massive rock just made of lava.
That's where we're eating. And that's when it started to like drizzle a little. And they're like, we gotta go because it's gonna rain. And we were like, oh, it's been drizzling on us. And they're like, no, you don't understand. And
we were like totally fine. We get up to the lava rock and we get into the tent and it starts pouring down rain.
Immediate downpour. Yeah. Like, ooh, there's snow on the ground. There's all this rain. But you get to see the mountain when it clears for a little bit. You get to see the mountain. And big.
You see, it's called the Western Approach or something. So it's the most dangerous route where it's a big avalanche and rock slide zone. And you have to technical climb if you go up that way.
Pretty big.
So a lot of people don't do that.
We did not do that. So that was where we stopped for lunch. Lunch on the road, as they say. Robert started getting a headache.
We sat down eating, and I felt great. And then all of a sudden, I just stood up, and I had to sit back down. I was very, very dizzy. Had a splitting headache. Thought someone was just jackhammering on to my front of the head. And told the guides, and they're like, "This is normal. It's nothing to worry about. Just your body adjusting." The idea is we walk high, camp low, to adjust. So they tell me to give them my bag, and I do, of course, because I don't have any
like the song says, the guides know best. So listen to your guides. Okay.
So Ibrahim strapped it onto the back of his huge backpack, and we started walking down. And I mean, I was not feeling well for the first hour of that walk.
Back down.
But then the further we went down, the better I felt. It rained a little bit, but then we walked down. There's this really big rift or something that the volcano had formed when it exploded. So we went down this valley, and it was amazing. They had these little waterfalls, and the fog was coming in, and it was quite dramatic.
This is day 4, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because day 5 is the wall.
Yeah, this was the first I would say dramatic views that we had, and sense of dramatic being just you can't comprehend how big the mountain is,
and everything around you. It's very almost Star Wars. The trees were trees I'd never really seen before. The landscape was something I hadn't really seen before. And then you're hiking down this gorge. To get to camp, and then you're like, how are we getting back up? Lots of up the next day. So Robert started feeling a little bit better. Yeah,
we got to camp, and I took a big nap.
Mm-hmm. Played games naturally, hung out.
And this was at Barranco, Barranco camp, which is next to Barranco Wall. And this was the first night that our tents froze shut. So LEB figured that out.
Yeah, I went to pee in the night and was like, I'm trapped. I can't get out. Because this Diamox, you take it twice a day, and it makes you pee all the time. And so they're like, don't take it too close to dinner. You have to pee at night. And I already have to pee at night. And I was like, Robert, I'm trapped in the tent.
Yeah.
It was so cold. He gave me some of his socks to wear. I was freezing cold.
We switched sleeping bags.
We switched sleeping bags because I was like, something's wrong with my sleeping bag. I just don't know how to use a sleeping bag. Finally, Myers was like, I just have it up. Myers unzipped hers and like flipped it upside down so that it was more of like a duvet with like a foot hole, I guess. And that ended up working really well for me. But one foot was really warm and one foot was really cold, and I had to sleep in a hat, which made my hair hurt. Finally got the dry shampoo out. Was not my morning.
Yeah, that night we all slept in toboggans going forward.
Yeah, from that point on, we were like pretty bundled for sleeping because, cold. And that's when we started having to layer.
Yeah, and so then we woke up.
Nope.
Day 5. Right?
Day 5.
Yeah, now we wake up and we are going.
It's wall day.
Yeah, we're going to go over Barranco Wall. And so apparently the hiking total distance was 5 kilometers that day, but it took
can't be
like 8 hours.
Couldn't
because
be.
You start your day by going over Barranco Wall. And Barranco means like a wall. Jagged in Spanish or something.
In Spanish?
Yeah, that's what they said. And it's scrambling. You're not rock climbing.
They're like, put your poles away, 3 points of contact, like ding, 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 ding.
So for like an hour and a half, you are literally just climbing up this wall.
And they woke us up extra early so we could be the front of the line, not the back. Like they were like, we don't want to wait for other people. Other people can wait for us. I'm like, okay, all right.
And it was really cold that morning.
Yeah, it was freaking freezing. I was in like 87 layers.
First time we had to wear like our thermal layers and everything.
But we scrambled.
We scrambled up. There was the kissing wall that you had to get really close to, pretty much kiss, or you would fall off the mountain.
Yeah, and unfortunately at this point they were realizing that my balance is subpar. So like the guys would be like, if this is my back, they'd be right here the whole time. They're like, oh, please don't fall backwards. Except be talking and I'd be like, ah! And they're like, ah!
Yeah. Like it wasn't like
perilous.
It wasn't sketchy until you kind of looked back and you looked how far everyone was below you. You're like, oh, we just came up that vertical.
You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm just kept chatting away. Julia asked, oh, do you mind telling me about those books that you read? Like the ACOTAR books? Like just walk me through the plot of those. And I was like, yeah, girl. So like everybody else is huffing and puffing, out of breath. And I'm like, and then Farrah said to resand. Now this is the part you won't believe.
And I didn't hear the initial question. So I just assumed Ellie B was like telling her the plot to her books. And we went to go pee and I pulled her aside. And I was like, Ellie B, I think you're like plagiarizing from the ACOTAR book.
I was like, no, I'm telling the plot of those books, and he was like,
oh
my gosh,
God. Yeah.
He's like, I was so worried. I'm like, no, this is the plot of the books. Julia asked, so I'm gonna just talking. All the videos, Ibrahim like tried to take like candid shots. Whoa, the towel just went all the way. Candid like videos of us hiking, and every single one I'm like, la 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 la, having the time of my life.
Yeah. And then we get to this resting point that is on this, like, I don't even know, this like little summit thing. Yeah. And you can look over to the backside of the mountain and just see clouds because we're already above the clouds.
Yep.
And then the summit behind us, you'll see the pictures of like the crazy summit and Ellie B and the girls jumping and all that stuff.
While trying to jump, Myers went straight up and down like an exclamation point.
And that was pretty. I think that was one of the best views.
Yeah, that was a cool view, and that's like we took a bunch of pictures there because we were like, well, if summit day sucks and like there's bad weather, we won't be able to see anything, so might as well take one now with like a really pretty mountain behind us.
Yeah. And so then
lots of snacking.
Yeah.
As well.
So then we walk and we get to the Karanga Valley camp.
This was like an 11-kilometer day, or 13.
It was a long day. Well, technically it was only 5, but it felt like a really long time. I don't think this is correct.
But then we got to what what'd you call it? Karanga camp?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah.
Because this is the end of day 5. Day 6, the night of night 6 is when you start your summit. So they were like we were playing cards at the table and Pius came in and he was like, I know you guys are here to have fun and enjoy yourselves. And we were like, we are. And he was like, that's really nice. You need to go to sleep as well. And we were like, yeah, okay. And he was like,
stop playing the game
now.
Right
and we
now.
were like, oh, okay, sorry. We'll go to sleep. It's like 7:45, 8. We're like, okay, sorry. We had soup every night, by the way. And they'd be like, oh, it's cucumber soup. It's squash soup. It's carrot soup. And it was just broth with like chopped up bits, like pureed bits
good,
in the bottom. Oh, I drank every single one of them. I think I've decided it was celery soup that I like the most. Still the same color broth as everything else.
Yeah.
But that was day 5. Pretty uneventful after Branco, or after the wall. We just kind of walked around. Day 6.
All right. So now we're going from Karanga Valley to Barafu Camp. And Barafu Camp is base camp.
Yes.
And it's at about like 4,700 meters.
Which is what the lava tower was from the other day.
Yeah.
So this whole time we're kind of going like this.
I was super nervous I was going to get sick again.
Which you did. So.
But not when we got to base camp, much later.
Just later on. I don't really remember
this one.
day
Yeah,
day
this
6
one was really it was a very short walk. So it was only 4 kilometers. You're walking through alpine desert, and
Rocks.
you get your first glimpse of kind of like the ice fields way up high, and the scree, which is like the loose rocks that glaciers form.
Imagine like a lot of slate, just like stacked.
Yeah.
Unorganized.
And
stacked.
so we're walking. We meet a nice man from Hamburg.
Hamburg. I am from Hamburg, Germany, and we were like,
yeah,
okay,
you are.
Yeah, you are. And I was
What's
like,
your favorite food?
We went to Hamburg, and he was like, we've been to Hamburg, and he was like, yes, Hamburg is so much fun. I want to climb the mountains, and I want to climb this mountain and 2 other mountains, and we were like, okay, yeah.
And we're like, we went to Hamburg for New Year's and went to this cool miniature museum.
Yes, that museum is my favorite. I am from Hamburg. And we were like, you are from Hamburg. Okay.
Remember the Hamburg man for later.
He was the point of a lot of Mars would just look over and be like, where are you from? I am from Hamburg, yes.
He's very happy. He's very German.
There's like 2 Germans. There's like the German who's like, I am from Germany and you will do these things. And then there's like, I am from Germany. I'm from the forest. Strudel. A sweet treat.
We have another encounter with the man from Hamburg later.
The man from Hamburg. I'm from Hamburg, yeah.
So then it was like a very easy walk. But then I just
want you to imagine like the toaster strudel commercial of that little man in overalls. That is this man. I wanted him to say toaster strudel, so bad, because that's just what I envisioned. The whole time him and his friends were talking, I was like, toaster strudel, like.
We all couldn't stop laughing. It was terrible.
And he's just telling us about his life, and we're all like, and Myers this whole trip has been saying, a sweet treat? It looks like a sweet treat. Is it a sweet treat? Like, just constantly. It's like some vocal stim she's got going or something. And so she's sitting there and she goes, do you think he will say my sweet treat? I was like, I don't think he will say my sweet treat. He's such a sweet treat. It was really funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
Then we get to camp.
Yeah. So then the last thing to get to camp is just this massive switchback wall that we have to go up.
It's like not even a switchback. They're just like, here you go. Just lean forward. Forge ahead.
And it takes like an hour to get to the top. And they're like, you're just a couple 100 meters away. And we're like,
this is a lot of up. So much up. I said, who knew climbing a mountain was so much up?
And while we're going, you can see the people coming down from the summit trail.
And you're like,
and they look defeated.
They do. They have been taken.
Yeah. So you're like, that's great motivation. So we get up to base camp.
And they're like, take a nap. And we're like, we're not tired. They're like, take a nap.
We get there at like noon and we eat. And they're like, okay, everyone sleep. We're going to have dinner at 5. Everyone go to your tent. Because the girls were like wanting to stay out and catch some rays. And I was like, dude, we're at like 16,000 feet. You're going to get roasted. Go in the tent.
They were like, go into the tent, take a nap, sleep. And we were like, okay.
And stay warm.
And it was so wild because like you would take like a couple steps and get lightheaded. Because your body was fighting for oxygen. So everything you did, like you would sit down in the toilet and be like, whoa.
Getting into the toilet tent was very hard for me because I was kind of too tall for the tent.
Oh my God.
So I would have to like squat and do like a bunch of exercise to get to the toilet. So I'd be like, out of breath.
You would kind of like, for a
and
second.
after Adam couldn't go for a few days. And
like
when
the
he finally,
first 5.
yeah, when he finally did go, me having to breathe deeply, getting into the tent was not so fun.
least to say. I got to see a lot of the stars of the night though. So like Adam had like a pee bottle in his tent, so he never came out of his tent. But I went to the bathroom like 5 times a night. I saw stars in their multitude.
And they would get mad, like, "Oh, you should have woken us up." I'm like, "Dude, it's like 3 a.m. I'm half asleep trying to fight for my life."
Yeah, I'm not like trying to like fall off a mountain while I pee. Also, I don't care how beautiful the stars are. You do not wake me up unless it is an astrological event, right? Like, unless it is something that I will never see again. But, like, that night sky is the same night sky as at home. So, like, it's okay. I don't need to be woken up. It was incredible, though. Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, if you've gone out west, you've seen the same night sky. So, because the reason they put us to sleep, I mean, we ate dinner at 5, and then they're like, okay, go to bed. And Adam's like, I cannot possibly go to sleep at like 6:30. It's not even dark outside. And they were like, go to bed. So we just pulled our hats over our eyes because they were waking us up at 12. No, at 11:30.
11:30.
To wake up. 12 o'clock food, 12:30 ascent. So technically day 7 because now it's midnight. And we're in every possible layer of clothing you have. All of it. Did I have a freak out about wool? Yes. Yes, I did. Did I fix the problem? 50-50. 50-50 believe or die? 50-50. I mean, like, it was so many tight
I had to
things.
leave the tent because she was about to have a full meltdown.
I was, because it was itchy and it was, I don't like to layer.
I was like, LEV, we've gotten this close to the top. You're going to put on the layers and we're going.
I know, but I wanted to find a dip because they were like, sleep in your layers. And I was like, I would rather freeze to death than wear 2 wool layers, top and bottom, and a hat to bed. I digress.
So
they
we
fed
get
us,
in the tent.
They fed us some sweet treats.
Yeah, they don't want us to overeat for Summit Day. So they like had some little like snacks and
sweet treats.
And then they like took all of our bags and were like starting up. I mean, you can see the camp's alive because everyone's getting up to go do this. And
so it's our 3 guides, and then they got 2 of the porters who had just been like carrying our stuff. So Joel had been carrying one of our bags, and he was like training to be a guide. So they're like, well, Joel, you come and carry a bag so you can practice like going up and down the mountain with people. And then his best friend got to go, Majawali, who had never summited before. So poor thing, he threw up like 3 times. First summit for him too. He was not having it because he's carrying all of our stuff.
I was in the bag and I see him like run across the
strip. And our guides at this point are like kind of just like, they're like jogging. I mean, we're going poly-poly super
We are
slowly.
going very slow, but
like,
they're all switching around us while we're just, yeah. And so we start off, we have our headlamps, we are bundled, we're ready to go. And we like, you look up to where you see the headlamps on the mountain above. And you're like, okay, that's not that far. I can make
it to there. Yeah. And then you get to there and there's another headlamp up on top of a mountain. You're like,
you are going up. It's not like this, but it's like that. And it's it is very steep. Switchback after switchback for 7 hours.
7 to 8. Ours took 7.5. So
yeah,
we were overachievers.
We had one group catch up to us. That was really annoying because they had a Bluetooth speaker playing music.
And they weren't playing like the fun music. They were playing some like weird stuff and they were like chanting. We called them the frat bros because it was just finance frat bros. Because it was just a bunch of white guys being really loud. And we were like, dude, it is like 3 a.m. We are all fighting for our lives. You guys need to shut up. Like, I looked at Ibrahim because I was at the front and I was like, look, I get it that some people need this. But I'm about to if I had extra energy, I would be hitting them with a pole, right?
Yeah, so they stopped, and then we kept chugging along, and then our guide started singing us the, like, little Swahili motivational climbing songs.
Which, unfortunately for them, it, like, really helped me not die, so I was like, you have to keep singing.
So they had to sing the whole... It was, like, chanting,
for, like,
singing,
2 hours they were singing, because it was, like, a good beat for my feet, because I did not get sick, I didn't have a headache, I just kept falling asleep. I genuinely...
She was getting so exhausted.
My body was like, clearly you must need to be asleep now. And I would just be standing there and just... And they'd have to shake me and be like, no, we're awake. And I'm like, yes, I'm awake. And then I would take 2 steps and just fall asleep again. Ibrahim, hand me your hand. The guide, no glove, mind you,
it is an Arctic zone.
Took my hand.
Mittens.
And was like, okay, let's go. And he we just chugged along together because I just kept falling. And if he stopped to turn around or step up on a rock, there I was. I'd just go, And he'd be like, no, nope, still forward. And he would, like, at one point he let go and we were walking and we stopped for peanuts. And then I woke up to him being like, okay, never mind, let's keep going. Because I was like, hello.
Yep.
But we made it. And then finally I was like, okay, like, I was like, are we halfway? Surely we're halfway. And he was like, you could say that. And I was like, I said, I'm going to be real. The feelings I'm feeling right now are hopeless and desperate because I cannot see, like, I can only see little lights. Like, they just keep going into the sky. They just blend into the stars. I don't know where the top is. It's very dark. He's like, okay. So we kept going. And then I was like, all right, I'm like 20 minutes from tapping out because I'm like not surviving. I'm just so exhausted. And I said, I need like something. I need a goal. I need an attainable goal. And they were really good. I was like, I need to count something. I said, I need to count switchbacks. And he was like, okay, we can count them. Ibrahim, up with me, right? He's not being a guide to anyone else at present. Pretty sure Myers got really sick, had to take his Zofran. Robert had a headache. I wouldn't know. I was trying to not to fall asleep on this mountain. And Ibrahim was like, okay, we can count things. And I was like, I need to know, like, you think 15 switchbacks to the top? And he was like, sure. Except for Ibrahim, a switchback was like, not just like this, or not even this. It was like this, and that. And so finally, after one being like all these things, I was like, just point to me the next spot I need to get to. And so he'd be like, that pile of rocks is number 2. And I'm like, okay. And I'm chugging. I'd be like, all right, we're at 2. Where's 3? He's like, okay, that person where they're standing on that clearing, that's number 3. I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's go to number 3. He'd be like, do you need to rest? I'm like, to 3. He's like, okay, to 3. There's only 7 switchbacks according to our calculations. If I was awake for them, it was 7 of them. Then we got to the very top, and it's called Stella's Point, and we were like, hell yeah, we're here. Myers and I laid on the ground because we were like, okay, it's over. This is awesome. You could see, Robert apparently could see the sunrise. I was on the ground. You could see the curvature of the earth. And then there was a beautiful mountain called her name. I don't know her name in Swahili, but her name translated to English was Jagged. And Jagged was gorgeous. And Jagged's too dangerous to climb now, so there's no climbers allowed. And I'm like, oh, she's at peace. Good for her. So Jagged was gorgeous. Jagged was my waypoint. When I was eye to eye with Jagged, I was like, we got to be close to the top. Anyway, we get to Stella's Point, and we're like, hell yeah, we're done. And they're like, actually, you have an hour to the left.
Yeah, now we're at the the volcanic rim. So it's not really up. You just have to walk across and a little bit up to the summit.
There were 2 little ups. That's what Fakir said.
Yeah.
I was like, is there more up? And he was like, 2 little ups. And I was like, okay. But then at this point, I was just so tired and I was so over it that Robert and Puce and I stayed behind, like, slowly. And Myers and them were basically running to get there. Fakir and Ibrahim did
literally ran, yeah.
Literally sprinted, like, the 100 meters. I counted. It was 1,075 steps from the time they told me that there were 2 little ups to the time we got to the summit picture. Calvin obviously came with us in Robert's bag. Our Papa Joe shirt obviously came with us in my bag. Lots of snacks, lots of water.
And you get adrenaline, so then you kind of start feeling just fine.
I cried really hard, and Robert was like, oh,
I cried too.
The view. And I was like, no, I'm crying because I get to get down now. Like, are you kidding me? That means I only have 2 more sleeps. I was really happy. It was happy tears because I only had 1 more sleep on the ground before I got to be done. So, like, I was... Let's go, people.
But it was like, I cried because when we got to Stella Point, it was the most incredible sunrise I've ever seen. You could see the curvature of the earth. You were so high above the clouds. And it was hard getting up there. It was an emotional time.
Lots of rocks. So, I don't think Robert's properly seen a sunrise like over the ocean because there's not as many rocks. I'm not big into rocks. I'm not a big rock girl. So anyway, lots of obsidian though, which absorbs negative energy. And every time I'd pass them, I'd be like, just take it, because like, use your properties. But we did take our pictures. I took my like topless picture because you can't not get topless on Kilimanjaro. Ate a bunch of snacks. I
got roped. The guides were like, oh, Rob, you still got some strength? And I was like,
yeah.
Got the dang adrenaline from the summit.
Then
like,
they went
we're
down.
We're going to walk down to that glacier. And I was like, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Notice how he went like this, because it was over a ledge. And he was like, yeah, I can make it. All of a sudden, everyone disappears. All the porters, the guides, Robert, me, Myers, Julia, and Adam are just sitting on the ground, eating goldfish and Rice Krispie treats.
And I made the horrible decision of going down.
Which means he had to go back
with him, and it was a long way.
They were gone for like...
We got some really cool pictures, though. And you're like face to face with this massive glacier. And then I realized that I had to walk back up that giant ass hill that we just walked down
which
at
started
altitude.
Robert's headache.
Yeah, I think this is what did it, yeah.
I think it's because he was a little dehydrated and he did not go poly back up.
I went pretty fast up that hill.
Pretty fast.
Yeah. And then the sun was like out in its full glory,
and it was
beating down.
Hot. It was cold, but it was hot.
Yeah, because you're in an Arctic zone, so it's like freezing cold,
but hot.
But hot because of the sun.
And it's like weird. The brightest sun I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and so like I had on my sun hat, I had on my gator thing over everything. I had my glasses with their like shields on the side. There was nothing getting sunburned, but I was getting roasted by sun somehow.
And mind you, we're in like all of our layers. So like I have 3 base layers on the bottom.
We were freezing on the way up, blistering on the way down.
Like I'm like pulling sleeves up, like kind of thing. Myers really has to pee. Julia's over it.
So they slide down the mountain.
So it took us almost 8 hours up. It took us like 2.5 to get back down, like all the way back down to base camp. From the other, like all the way. Yeah. They were like, basically sliding down. Robert was having.
I was getting so frustrated because I was like, here I am struggling my butt off, and we all stuck together when everyone else is having a hard time, and they're all ditching me.
Robert was very butthurt, so I stayed back with him while he wasn't feeling good. We somehow caught up to Adam, who was having. He did not have any altitude sickness, but for some reason going downhill was like
killed him.
He just like was having a hard time processing the down. Down hurt. I was like near tears by the end because just my knees, everything's like pushing forward. I was like, this is painful. Up is exhausting, but down hurts. Yeah. And Joelle was leading us, so like our guides at this point were kind of like, all right, we're done. Like they've made it. They're down. Let Joelle lead. And Joe would be like, come on. I'm like, I'm coming. I'm doing my best. And then he'd like jog ahead. He'd be like, aren't you coming? I'm like, I'm doing my best. Robert's like, you guys are running. I'm like, no.
Then we get to the camp, and I just have a splitting headache.
Robert like barely eats food.
From that.
Oh my gosh! Dinner before summit. Dinner before we summit the highest mountain in Africa, the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Bold choice. Tuna shawarma.
It was canned tuna shawarma.
Meyer said, "Is this is cat food?" And I said, "Yes, correct. I think it is." And that was one of the nights that I got my own gluten-free option, which was still just tuna, but just without the shawarma part, and then like fried plantains, which taste like peanuts if you put enough salt on them. Very strange. Anyway, we get back down to camp. Robert is absolutely pooped.
That trek down to the glacier.
He was
and
really
running
struggling.
back up deprived my head of oxygen.
He was really struggling, and so we like called in Ibrahim, and we were like, Robert's really struggling, because he was like at the table, like kind of being mean, quippy. My head's killing me. I can barely see straight. So we called in Ibrahim because we were like, hey, Robert's like really struggling, and Ibrahim's like, hey, Robert, and he's like, hey, man, what's up? And us girls were like,
I couldn't look bad in front of my friend.
We were like, oh my God, you were just so mean to us.
And so we get 2 hours to rest up, and then
legally they have to give you 2 hours.
Yeah, and then we got a 4-kilometer trek to Mweke camp. You
get options. You can do like the camp that's 4 kilometers away. You can do the camp that's 7 kilometers away, because the first camp, the one that's 4 kilometers away, is like 13 kilometers from the gate. But if you camp at the second camp, you're only like 7 kilometers from the gate. So you're like, okay. Or like 8 kilometers. You're like, that's not bad. Well, we were not making it.
So we camped at the first camp.
And we get there, and everyone's cheering for us because they're excited that we survived. It was crazy because you're at the summit, and then you're in the scree, and then you're in the Alpine Desert, and then you're in the Heathers, and then you're in the moorland, and then you're camping in the Heathers. So you do like everything you did the second day, you're doing on like the second to last day. Yeah. And that's where we heard a lot of helicopters. So people were getting rescued.
And then lo and behold, who do we see come when we're leaving base camp?
Mr. Humbug. He's sitting in a chair. We were like, hiya. And he was like, ugh. So we
sitting in like a lawn chair, like on the
near the helipad. And we were like, oh, hi. And he was like, ugh. And we were like, oh, okay. I said, that was our friend from Hamburg. He is not doing so well. We also saw the site of the crash of the helicopter. Yeah. Robert was like, oh, did you know the guide? And they were like, yes, they were our friends. And Robert was like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. I was like, okay, sorry. They were like, do you see all that white stuff down there? We were like, yeah. We were like, what is it? And they were like, that is the crash. And we were like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then, we get everyone's excited, giving us fist bumps, blah, blah. It was like, it was fun. And then they gave, I can't remember what they did for dinner, but it was spaghetti again.
Night. Spaghetti round 2.
Spaghetti?
Again? Did not get a gluten-free option for that.
There was one night they did like red lentil pizza bread.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. That was good.
And they did lentil on the summit day lunch.
They were like hush puppies, but lentil
hush puppies, and they were pretty good. Myers had like 15. Mm-hmm. There was like 26. Myers took like 10 of them. And I'm like, let's just save a couple for Robert once he gets his head screwed back on right.
That's it.
That's it for that day, I think. Day 8. The day we leave.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Now we are leaving. We have a 13-kilometer, 6-hour hike.
Yeah, they were like, we don't measure in kilometers, we measure in hours. I was like, I would definitely prefer to not measure in hours. I don't want to do that.
We go from Mueca Camp to Mueca Gate. And
6 hours.
So we go
straight down.
We go into the rainforest. But as we're going down, there are I never felt like there were a lot of people on the trail until the last day because everyone's going out this way.
And everyone's like running
down the hill. Because there's multiple different routes to go up. We did the Lamosha, which is the longest way up, and then everyone kind of goes out the same way. And the porters are walking up with their huge backpacks on their back. And then whatever other bag, like their 90-pound duffel bag that was mine, for instance,
like balanced,
either on their neck or balanced on their head while they are just running down this mountain.
And their whole goal the whole time is to like have everything ready for us for breakfast and then to pack up
when we leave
and beat us and be set up at the next camp. Yeah. They're like sprinting this stuff.
They are incredible.
Very in shape.
Incredible. Yeah.
I'm like, damn, okay.
And
they also had to go up the big wall.
Yeah.
As well.
And so they're going down, and we're going down. We get into the rainforest,
and they're like, "Hey, be careful, since there's so many people and it rained yesterday. It's really slippery." And we were all like, "Okay."
Everyone slipped and fell.
We were busting
times.
Ourselves, and it was like the whole when you fall, they like collapse onto you to make sure you're okay. Ibrahim fell. Yeah. Adam like sprinted back when Ibrahim fell. I was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" Collapsing onto him.
And then we saw a cool wildcat.
We did. It was all curled up. It was called a Hinks.
Hilux or Hinks or something.
Hilux,
I don't know.
That's the word. We saw more monkeys. I spotted the monkeys. Puce was just like standing there and he goes, "Do you see behind that tree over there on that stump? That's a Hilux cat. They live for 8 to 12 years." And we were like,
"How did you see that?"
We're going, "What?" Like zooming in on our phone trying to see it.
Yeah. And
poor Puce was stuck with the girls in the front, so we were like, I was dishing out. They were like, "Tell us your drama from high school." So I'm like dishing out high school drama, and Puce is in the front like, like 4 hours of our 6 hours. Just maybe like, and then they said to me, "And you won't believe what happened next." And obviously, I got all their high school drama too, not Puce, the girls. And then we slipped a bunch, and then we got done, and it was a 3.5 hour drive.
Well, we were all happy and everything, and then we stopped and we had lunch at this cool place that had some art.
Oh yeah.
And then it was a very, very hot 3 hour drive back. But
and you're in your gear that nobody told us. I guess they thought like at this point like we would have pieced it together or something, but nobody said like, "Oh, and bring like a change of clothes." So you've been sweating for like 6.5 hours. Then you're eating outside and sweating, and then you're sitting in your like filthy clothes for 3.5 hours on a bus full of people. Like, you know, in the movies when they're like covert and they're on those buses in India where there's like 87 people and a chicken. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
Because we're like holding our belongings in our lap. People are everywhere. It's very hot. We have windows like the windows that slide open, trying to like get some oxygen. But then it starts raining, so we have to close them. I'm like, I'm gonna die. This is where I die.
But
right
then,
here.
like the last 2 hours or hour and a half of it, it got lit.
They started playing music on the loudspeaker,
and we're in the front, and we don't realize that the porters all in the back are having a party.
Time of their life.
Dancing and
so Myers took the aux and played a good song, and they got hype, and then so like we kind of bounced back and forth with like who had the aux, they or Myers, then Myers, Julia.
And
they were singing in Spanish. They were singing like Despacito, Bailando. I'm like, this is so weird to be in Tanzania.
And they were dancing.
Oh, they were like gyrating. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people can move. Myers was like, am I getting twerked on? I'm like, maybe. Yeah, you might be.
More Adam.
Yeah, poor
Adam was.
Adam was like off to the corner by himself. And then we got back and we like danced off the bus.
And they gave us our
And then it was very much like a, okay, bye.
Yeah, it was sad.
And we were like, oh, okay. Like, thanks for keeping us alive, I guess. Thanks,
yeah, it was because there was a big storm coming, so they all had to get to the office to unload everything. And we were like, oh, no.
Oh, okay, bye. And then Sam was like, okay, let's, like, Sam met us back at the thing, and Irene, this woman who was there. And they had been saying they had a party planned. And this whole time we were like, no.
Oh, no.
No. Because at this point, it's like 8 p.m. And we have to wake up at 3 a.m. to get to the airport for Adam and them's flight at 6:30, which ended up not leaving till like 7:30, which means they missed their other flight, which is a whole nother thing. And so I'm like, okay, I just want to go to bed. Like, I want to sleep in a real bed. I want to take a real shower because we've been washing, like washing our feet, washing our like faces, but I need to like wash my hair, clean off my armpits. Like Adam and I went and bought a razor at the thing because I was like, my armpits, I could braid them at this point. Like, it's like Viking armpits.
Adam also shaved his armpits. No, I'm kidding. He shaved
Adam shaved his face and he looked like a girl. Everyone was like, whoa! Like, different face.
And we called our parents, and it was like, we're alive.
Listen, we got there. It was 8. Sam was like, okay, we're gonna eat dinner, and then we're gonna debrief, and then we're gonna like make sure you've returned all your kit, and then you can sleep. And I was like, wrong. What we're going to do is drop our stuff, shower. We'll be back in 23 minutes. We're going to eat, and you're going to debrief while we eat. Because I will be in bed by 9:30. That's in an hour and a half. So that's how long you have to get everything done you need to get done. I ain't hanging out anymore. So I'm already tired. I'm already pissed off that we have to leave at 3 a.m. My body hurts. We get to our hotel room, and the AC won't turn on. And we can't figure out, there's too many buttons involved. Somehow we have 2 beds, but they're in different rooms.
So Ellie runs.
So I have to go all the way back to the desk. And by the time I get all the way back with this sweet man, Robert's like, oh, I figured it out. And I'm like, ah. So then I go to take a shower, but there's no shampoo. There's there's nothing. I'm like, I'm going to freak out. So then I tried to call the people, and nobody's answering me. I'm freaking out. But I also need to wash my hair, but my face, and I don't want to get my mouth wet. We figured it out. We did figure it out.
And then we go eat. We have the debrief. And then we come up and go to bed. We call our parents to say that we're alive.
I was like, I don't go to bed right. I felt bad. We're sitting at dinner, and I'm like, I'm not hungry. I'm so tired. And he's like, well, we have a little ceremony where you get your little placards or whatever they're called, certificates. And I'm like, I don't care. I want to go to bed. Do it without me. I'm like, and they're like, oh, you need your beauty sleep. And I'm going, no, I just need sleep. Like, I'm not going to wake up beautiful. Yeah. I'm probably going to wake up pissed. Let me go to sleep.
And so we call our parents, and we're like, all right, we're alive. We'll call you tomorrow. Go to bed. And I know that all of our parents were a little upset.
Speak for yourself. My mom understands that I value sleep, and she would much rather talk to me when I am alive and well, as opposed to me, like, groaning out the suffrage. Because it's an hour of drive to the airport, and their flight was at 6.
And Adam is a Brantley and comes by it honestly, freaks out about times at airport and when they need to be wherever.
And we were like, and Africa time is what I found is very mountain
It's like
time.
island time.
Or island time. Yeah, like he was very like, oh, yeah, it's probably about an hour to the airport. You can get there at like 5.
Adam wasn't having
Adam was like, no, we will get there 2 hours before. And he was like, so we'll leave around 3. He's like, but an hour and a half, that puts us there at 4:30.
He's like, that's not the math. And the guy's like, it'll do.
It'll be all right. And then, of course, Sam was like a couple minutes late, and Adam was like, freaking out.
And Adam was like, would you all be comfortable with this time?
I said, I wouldn't book a flight that early in the morning. Yeah. Like, I'm not waking up that early. And Mark's like, thanks for like riding with us to the airport. I said, I didn't have a choice. Yeah. Like, I would not be choosing to wake up this early. Are you crazy?
Yeah. And then they left.
Yeah. Like, we got there because I said, Sam, are we going to be allowed to go through the airport? And he's like, oh yeah. Our flight was at 9:15.
We sat for 3 hours.
because
wrong side of security.
They were like, "No, you can't come through. You don't have the fucking sorry. The station isn't even open for you to get your tickets." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Our bag was delivered to the hotel though, so that was good.
Yeah. So then ensued our long journey back to Riyadh.
The girls had a much worse time.
Yeah, they missed their flight in Istanbul.
They missed their flight in Istanbul, so they had to stay in Istanbul, and they had to stay in a hotel far away. And then their flight was to Atlanta, and they were in a bus, and Julie's bag went missing. It was a whole other thing. That's their story, though. We don't actually know the details because we were in the air the whole time. Mm-hmm. Our flight back wasn't horrible, though. That's not true. Our first trip, a man sat next to Robert, and he passed gas the entire time. And Robert thought he was going to die. He kept being like...
It was horrible.
I didn't know. I was just minding my own business. We watched the ending of Stranger Things. I watched Barbie the movie. Turns out Saudi cut a lot. How much did Saudi cut? Turns out more than we thought.
Yeah.
And then we got back here at 9:15. We unpacked a little bit, and then we just crashed. And we're still recovering.
Yeah, very much so. We have a massage tonight.
We do. Every morning we wake up, and we're like, wow, that bus that hit us.
And this is 4 days after getting back. Yeah.
Bus. I think it's because we had just adjusted to America time zone 3 days before we left. And then we're trying to adjust to Tanzania time zone, but while also sleeping on the ground and not getting a lot of sleep. And now we're here trying to readjust. So that's us. That's what we did. That's what we've been up to. Our next big trip is Georgia in February. Mm-hmm. So we've got some time before that. I've got my writers' conference coming up in January. Nope, in February. We have the Riyadh, marathon, but I'm running a half marathon. Well, I'm finishing a half marathon. I'll be running 4 miles of it. The rest will just be a nice brisk walk on the flat ground of Riyadh. And yeah, we've got a lot of stuff in the works for Eids and everything. And our parents coming. His parents are coming here. My parents are meeting us in Egypt. Lots of movement, lots of moving parts. My third book came out. Those of you viewers who haven't purchased it yet, shameless plug.
Her fourth book, third in the series.
Fourth book, third in the series, came out yesterday. It can be found on Amazon, or you can pre-order the ebook. The audio book will be available in the spring. So yeah, you should go buy that. You should buy 4. Buy one for your friends. Post-Christmas gift, as they say. Yeah, but that was us. That was Kilimanjaro. You're about to see probably 150 pictures because Robert was in charge of picking them, and he probably picked 100. So enjoy the pictures. Yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye. What up, peeps? Okay, so we had separated all the videos because we had daily check-ins with the girls that we were going to put in between the pieces, and it was going to be we talk about day 1, and then there'll be the check-in. But unfortunately, that's not going to work out because Robert's work computer has a myriad of problems. Problems for me, not it has problems. I have a problem with it. So instead, you're just going to get us talking, and then you're going to get another video later of all the pictures and the videos and such. So enjoy us telling you about it. And it's basically already an hour long anyway. So the next one will be just another hour of pictures and things because Robert's in charge of it. So Lord knows there'll be millions. Okay, enjoy.